I know I want to be a teacher, but I didn't want to become that teacher. So then I found out that you can become a professor. So come along, let me explain to you how my dream goal and the timeline of me actually becoming a professor is going to happen. So the short-term goal of this is to actually work at like a community college first. Get my feet wet, really understand what I'm doing first. I mean, I've been a teacher for 4 years, so I got the teaching experience to my name. So teaching is never the issue, but I never dealt with adults, if that makes sense. So the short-term goal is probably working at a community college first, getting my feet wet, then kind of understand what we're doing before we make that big journey to the long-term goal. You're hearing it first. No one knows about this, but you're hearing it first. The long-term goal is just to become a professor. I want to teach at a HBCU, but after thinking and consideration, I'm going back to school to get my doctorate degree. Please hold your applause. I decided to make that decision because I really like teaching, and I feel like after once I get this more experience of teaching adults and actually now working at a university, becoming a professor, that I work on my doctorate degree. That's the long-term goal of this plan. I just want to become a professor, but then I was like, Professor Coleman sounds great, but Dr. Coleman? Give you the steps, maybe like some tools to kind of help everybody who want to become a professor. Like I said, this worked for me. How's it going? The stuff I've done, and maybe the stuff that I haven't done yet, but I'm working on it now. So step number one of how I did this, learning how to become a professor, I actually talked to some professors who's actually in the field. So that means actually talking to them, knowing what you signed up for, the good and the bad. People are, oh my God, why would you ask me why would you tell me about the good and the bad about it? You need to know these things. You're trying to become that person in that field. And then two, for my people who are high school teachers who are now like, hey, I'm going to get my master's degree to want to become a professor, please understand, it's totally different. Prime example, in college. In college, you don't have to call the parents and be like, hey, little Mike might come to class. Mike paying for this. So Mike fail, Mike gotta repay for all this stuff. Versus high school where it's like, oh, Mike not doing the work. You can call somebody and be like, hey, Mike not doing this work. What can we do to get him to do this work? Then I think another thing too, that what I've kind of learned about trying to become a professor, more importantly, find a university that actually needs a degree field. There are plenty of universities that what I've kind of discovered that are looking for people who are up to date in all the latest technology and even the latest technology of social media, blogging, how to do podcasting. There are schools that are looking to teach college students how to do this. Now the cool thing is about running this professorship or maybe become a professor that I'm trying to do. The things I've also learned about being a professor and doing my research about it is that you have to be the professor that kids come to your classroom. Not because they are forced to, because it's your degree program, but because they're actually learning something cool in your classroom. I actually talked to my professor, Michael Bean, who is the man who inspired me to become a professor. And his biggest thing was, you want to be that professor that everyone wants to be in their classroom. Not because of, oh, you have to take this class, but this is more of like, I'm learning something. I want to make sure that I'm actually paying for my money's worth. And you want to be that professor that you're getting paid to teach people your craft and how you do your craft. So with that being said, my degree program, I am nervous about it. But hopefully around the same time next year, I'll be moving the tassel. I think I moved it the wrong way, but we kind of get the premise of this. So I ask for everyone wish me luck as I make it through this master degree program, and by the grace of the Lord, 2025, June 2025 to be exact, will be graduating with a master's degree.